So I think I know the awakening of the flower, flower, fruit, robin's fruit. So this is one of those times I wish I made the channel way earlier, because back in the day, I predicted Gigante Flutu and Demonio Flutu, because I always likened Robin to a character from another manga called Gantz. In Gantz, there are these alien creatures that need to be extinguished by a group of people in black suits, right? And at the end of each mission, there is usually a boss alien. In one particular mission, which has been animated into a CGI movie, we have an alien who can become a giant woman who's a mass of all these other women, right? And I'll put a picture of his face on screen. Mind you, Gantz is very violent, so only watch the movie if you're of age. The film is called Gantz Zero, by the way, but only watch it if you're over 18. But anyway, moving on. I always thought Robin would go down that path in which she could become a giant and replicating and fusing all those replicated bodies together into one singular body, which is basically what all of her giant constructs end up being. And you can kind of see the shorthand of that in some attacks, especially in the manga, where the root of the construct is all swirly. That's a shorthand for a bunch of copies of limbs coming together to make one big limb. As I had said before in the past, you get to see this in a more literal fashion in movies like the fourth One Piece movie, or the time in which the Straw Hat Pirates fight Oars, in which you get to see that she makes giant constructs from making a whole bunch of constructs built on top of one another. So, what do I think her awakening will be? I think the awakening of the flower, flower fruit could be copying the various body parts of people you know from memory. So that means, in NICOROBIN's case, all of the current Straw Hats. I think this would be a pun off the idea of flowers being able to be crossbred or cross-pollinated, in which Robin is using her memory to make copies of the limbs of the people she knows. Seeing as how Robin is very observant, this could even extend to her memory of what these Straw Hats are able to do. So when she makes a copy of one of their limbs, perhaps she can replicate some of the powers they are able to perform, such as, say, the Luffy limb being able to stretch, or the Frankie limb being able to use Coup de Vent or Radical Beam or Strong Right. Maybe she can make a replica of Usopp's head that distracts an opponent by the head being loud and telling a loud lie or tale of some sort. So I think this is very possible. Now, an extension of this would be her making giant replicas of each Straw Hat that look like devils. But I think when she does this, they will most likely be in the art style that she is known for doing, because we've seen her draw a couple of times and her drawings are quite grotesque and disturbing. So maybe her demon copies of the various Straw Hats would be demonic takes in that style. So I could see that happening as well. But that's my idea for her awakening, her being able to copy the limbs of people she knows, and this being a pun or take off of cross-pollinating or cross-breeding flowers. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What?